Welcome to Remembering Your Oneness with Zane Daniel and Monica Kupiec, where we know everything, and so do you.
Hello. Hello.
Here we are. We have special music to play. I don't know. I'm just picking a random song. This is the celebration of our 50th. I don't even know what song it is.
This is the theme of it.
I can't even hear it. So that's
It's pretty. It's so magical, Zane. Like you're missing out on this sound.
Okay. Awesome. Well, nothing but the best for our 50th.
And then we need fireworks, like little emoji fireworks. Like
Right. I agree completely. I should have prepared some more videos. You know, I should
to congratulate us.
Yeah, like a montage.
It's still playing. By the way.
Is that a problem?
It's kind of loud, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it down. Maybe I'm gonna turn it down. Oh, it doesn't let me turn it down. There. Is it quiet?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna stop it. Goodbye, music. Okay, stop. It's so weird that it doesn't let me hear it, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's strange. It's maybe if you had headphones on, maybe it would work then. I don't know.
Maybe. Right.
Sometimes it's different that way. We made it to 50. Can you believe it?
50 episodes. Yeah, no, I don't believe it. Like, that really went fast. And yet, we've been doing it for more than a year.
I feel like skipping some. Yeah, we started like in 2020. I remember I was making some tea and I was thinking like, wow, like we've been going at this for a while, and just the progress between the two of us where we were back then.
Right. Well, and I would love to invite everybody to say hello who's watching. Introduce yourselves. Tell us where you're from. If we already know you, definitely say hello. It's me, you crazy kids, so that we can properly greet you on our 50th ever episode.
I feel like we need cake or champagne now, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you're ready to just like make this announcement.
Yeah. Jaybird. Oh, cool, Kazri. It's been a long time, Kazri. Jaybird suggested that I get one of those little things.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. But still, like, I did it in my mind. So, Kazri, hello. Kazri, Prince Edward Island. I met her when I was there. And then Ulrika from Sweden. Hello, Ulrika. Jaybird, of course. Hi, Jaybird. And Shelly from South Africa. Wow, cool. Welcome, Shelly. Oh, see, she says I sound far away. So it still doesn't sound that good. Okay, well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my headphones, because obviously you can't hear me.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. Let us know if you have any questions for us. It is our 50th episode today, which is exciting because usually I'm pretty bad with commitments, but here we are still running this podcast.
Is this any better? Is this different?
Oh, that's much better. Wow.
Okay, awesome. Well, so yeah, and today, as our 50th episode, our topic is actually animals and spirituality, which just...
Oh, you just froze too, or one of us did. Well, the topic today is about animals and spirituality.
Who had issues. Oh, so I did disappear, didn't I?
Now you're back.
Okay, great. Yeah. Anyway, it came up recently because I have someone in my class detached who has a dog, and she has negative entities, and the dog was really responding to the negative entities. And so finally, when she joined, it was great because in the first day of the class, the dog changed behaviors completely and he was much happier and content and comfortable, where he had been scared to death for I don't even know actually for how long. So that made me kind of go, okay, let's talk a little bit more about spirituality and animals. They can see negative entities. They can feel that vibration, and then their role in that spiritual growth, if you choose to use them. Because during my awakening experience, I had 2 to 3 dogs at the time. And for Jaybird, it's been huge because of cats. And I know you have a cat, and I'm sure you reference or notice the spirituality of your cat. So why don't you start us off by telling a story or something about your cat and your connection with Aya?
Oh, well, I feel like with her, it's more of like I feel like we're very more on like a telepathic like frequency where I feel like she knows when I'm feeling sad and then she'll come by. Or, like, sometimes, like, being a woman, like, right before my monthly cycle, she'll come and actually, like, lay on my stomach, and I'll be like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna have my cycle now because you're here," because she never does that. She doesn't just, like, freely, like, lay on me. So she's very in tune with my body with the sense of if I'm about to purchase something that I shouldn't be, she'll come around and be like, "Meow," and then it's like a self-check for me, like, "Oh, am I really supposed to do this, or is this really, like, in my most aligned path?" So she's always, like, in the background, like, being my little intuitive voice. She's an outdoor cat, so just to give you that perspective, she's, like, kind of, like, never in the house or never really around me. She kinda just does her own thing. So when she's near me and, like, hanging out, it's usually like a self-check for me of, like, "Okay, well, what am I doing that maybe she's giving me a precaution for?" Or, "What is she trying to help me with?" Like, maybe I need more self-care, or sometimes she'll help me sleep in more, like, she'll know that my body is tired, and she'll, like, actually come on, like, near my chest or near me and just, like, start cuddling. So, normally, she's not very affectionate, but it seems like she is when I need it the most.
Wow, we have a really strange connection. That was really cool. Like when you were talking, like you would say something and then it would echo forever. Like, she comes and lays on my stomach, 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 stomach. I was like, are we doing plant medicines today and I didn't notice it? Or what's going on? So I don't know. We'll just kind of roll with it and see how it goes here. But yeah, that's really cool. And that connection with your cat, that psychic connection is really cool. And I would love to introduce or not introduce, I would love to welcome anybody in the audience who would like to tell us their stories of their connections with their animals. I'd love to kind of talk about that. So for me, I had a crazy experience with my whippet, Whisper. It was during my spiritual awakening. She all of a sudden just had a horrible pain in her neck and she couldn't eat. She wouldn't even drink water, and it was very severe. I took her to the vet. There was nothing wrong. They did x-rays. All is good. And then, but I couldn't, I mean, she couldn't really do anything, and she was very much suffering. I was even taking a syringe with water and squirting it into her mouth so that she would drink, because she wouldn't bend her head down to take water out of her bowl. And at the time, I didn't really have, I don't know, confidence in my ability to connect with my dog because, like I said, it was kind of early in my awakening. And
Yeah.
I went and I saw an animal psychic, and I just said, "Hey, tell me about Whisper." And I didn't say anything. I didn't, I wanted to see what she would say. And of course, she said, "Oh, she's really suffering. She's really in pain, and she's actually been considering leaving this world because of the pain that she's in. But she's not. She's going to be okay. She's going to pull through." And then she explained that what happened is that I was shedding something. I was releasing something. I was releasing an entity or a darkness or something because of during my awakening process. And that Whisper interfered and took on that darkness. And it was that decision that Whisper made that actually gave her that neck pain. So I believe very, very strongly that, just like us, they have incredible higher selves, and their higher selves are taking that sort of action. Maybe Whisper her 3D self was not conscious of that decision, but her higher self was, at least. And And that was the consequence of her action. And so it stands to reason that we can connect with and communicate with and work with our pets because of that, that they're there for a reason, that they're there as part of our.
Okay, you froze on me, so. Oh.
Yeah, I figured I did. I was just finishing up. It's a beautiful possibility is all that I was saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, with my cat, I always, in the beginning when she was little, I still do it now too, but I always check in with her higher self, to where she is, like if she's safe or if she's up to something. Because sometimes she wouldn't come home like until like, midnight or whatever. But I always just like check in with her to know if she's okay. And I would always take myself into my higher self and then herself into her higher self. And then we would talk to each other through our higher selves. And it's a really beautiful bond that way through just, I guess it's like a building of the trust, but it's also that unconditional love that you're going to that frequency and knowing that she is fine, knowing that she's okay instead of worrying. So I think in the beginning I would worry, but then slowly but surely I realized, oh wait, she's actually really strong. She's just super independent. She knows what she's doing. And it's like you just build that sense of like inner knowing within yourself to release that worry or to release that other associated 3D like mindful thinking.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, so in this particular case, where in detached, where this person has come in with her dog, the dog was afraid of the negative entity and displayed behaviors that he had never displayed before, including a vertigo experience. And so he was falling down kind of for no reason and that sort of thing. So it's really important that to note that our animals can see these things. They know what's going on. They feel it. They know it.
Oh, there you go again. So I really like, I know he's frozen, but I really like Jazz KM. Oh, there you go. There, you're alive again. There you go. I really like her comment here. She says, I don't have pet myself, but I have read Akashic records for pet owners, and they have received information that their pets have been with them in their previous lives as well. I actually painted my cat's energy portrait into an abstract form, and I channeled through her different past lives of like her different star seed, where she's from, and this sometimes a little bit of the lives that we had. And since I painted that, I think it was back in the summer, like I feel like our bond has definitely has gone stronger because I have a sense of really understanding her a little bit more of like, wow, like we've really been here, you've been my best pal for a very long time. And it's like it's like a beautiful experience. And then like having her energy portrait, eventually, the pet will die and I'm gonna still have her energy around me because when I look at that painting, it's like, oh wow, there you are. Or like sometimes she's out and about and I'll look at the painting, I was like, oh, like I know you're around. So it's like a really like pets are just have this like frequency of just elevating you from within. I grew up never having pets either, so this is kind of new for me. I had Aya about 3 years ago. I got her, or less than 3 years ago. So this is all like new things for me that I'm learning, and I feel like not like I missed out on a part of my like childhood of like not having a pet, but it's really nice for me to experience it now. And I feel like it's also representation that you receive everything that you need in the right timing. And I had to get a cat basically at this point in my life just to further develop that universal unconditional love bond.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and so, Jaybird is noticing that there's loud bird sounds. So we're surrounded by animals all the time. And in this case, being in Florida, there are these grackles, these long-tail grackles, I think is the exact version of the grackle. And they surround this area and they make lots of noise, and we really enjoy hearing them all the time. And so what are they telling us? Why are they around us? Could be any number of amazing spiritual reasons. And so you can think about that too. It's not just your pets, but it's about any animal that you interact with. You had a soul contract to have that interaction with that animal. What is it that they're bringing? Allow for the possibility, and back.
There you go again. I completely agree with.
This is awesome. Yeah, I don't know why today. I mean,
yeah, I just know that with the whole bird thing, like when I used to work at my other job and I would go for a walk, like during my break, it would always be birds like flying around me. From an early age, I always had birds like running into my windshield or like just crossing through my path. And I always had that be a sign of just return to the present moment. And a lot of animals, I feel like they're just here to bring us more presence within us, whether it is like that bird sound or maybe a rooster or maybe a dog howl. I've noticed too during meditation, sometimes I'll be going through like a deep meditation of like just sucking through like some past memories. And then all of a sudden I'll hear like a neighbor's dog bark and it like zaps me back to the present moment. So I feel like sounds in your surroundings, they play a big role in understanding the self and returning back to the present state.
I'm back. Maybe. As soon as I feel like I'm back, it just like freezes again. This is weird because this is the same location I've been in for weeks. And just today, it's not so good. But I missed everything you were saying. I have no idea where we are.
It's okay. I was just telling a story about how birds have been an impact in my life, and how they bring me back to the present moment. And just an overview is that animals are always here to bring us to the present state. Sometimes we're on a hike and then we see a pretty butterfly or we see like a bumblebee or something like that, and it brings us back to the present state. It's like we're always constantly thinking of the future or the past, but then we see something beautiful cross by. Here in Hawaii, we have whales now, and it's like whales come out very randomly, and it's almost like, they're shooting love back and forth while they're jumping. So, every animal has its own healing property too. I have these like special, like, not like tarot cards, but they're animal cards where they show like the meaning of different animals. And I use that a lot during my sessions, like, or when I guide someone to a meditation, I always try to guide them through a forest and then see what spirit animal comes through. And usually that animal holds a specific message for you. Do you ever work with spirit animals, Zane? There he goes again. Well, does anyone in the comments, do you guys work with spirit animals? I can also draw out a spirit animal card for anyone too, if you're looking for that. I can go grab some cards.
It's a good thing we didn't try to do the game show today.
That is true. Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and grab that, and maybe I'll be around long enough. My parents are bird watchers, and I grew up in a bird watching family. So through crazy just being exposed to it now, I can pretty much tell you species of birds just by kind of looking at them or sometimes hearing their calls and so forth. And even though I didn't grow up with pets, I grew up with that, and that's always fun. Jaybird calls me a bird nerd, but I definitely love, all the different birds, and the Florida trip has been fantastic for that reason too.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do Anjali first because I see her comment first that she wants to be drawn. So Anjali, this card is going to be for you. Look at that. Bumblebee. B. So B is hard work is rewarded, responsibility, and a sweetness that is shared. Okay. And then we have Maria. Maria, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Maria.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Maria. That's great.
Maria, you have a moose. A moose is with self-reliance and measured patience, adversity will be overcome. Moose.
Self-reliance and patience.
Then we have Jillian Porter. A peacock. Protect your heart from those who may cheat before they hurt you. And Jaybird wants one too. Jaybird, Jaybird, Jaybird. You have a butterfly. Delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. Ooh.
Oh well.
I feel like you had something to say to that.
Too bad you didn't draw a bunny for her. That's kind of what I was expecting.
Maybe she doesn't need a bunny just yet because she's got a bunny right in front of her. Who we have next here? Is it Krista? I think I see Krista's name. Krista May.
Yeah, Krista May. Yep.
Krista May, you also have a butterfly. You and Jaybird, more creativity. Delight in life and embrace change as the source of your creativity. Look at this. Oh, Zane is frozen now. I can keep drawing cards. We have Mary Seberg now. Mary Seberg. Octopus from Mary Seberg. Travel across Earth and oversea to securely embrace your dream. Jazz. We're going to do Jazz KM right now. Jazz, you have a scorpion. Jazz. In a new relationship, passion offers the challenge of ecstasy and pain. Anjali says, we can have pics of frozen Zane. It will be a nice collage. Okay, who is next? Alexandria Wyman. You have a llama. Let courage lead you to seek support and overcome a fear of intimacy. Jaybird says to draw a card for Zane. We can do Zane next. Zane, Zane, Zane. Zane has an orangutan. Working to life joyously, not living to work. Oh wow. I feel like this one is pretty good for Zane. Anjali says to draw one for myself. Okay, I'll draw one for myself. So the other day yesterday I was, because I'm an energy healer. I think some of you guys do energy healing too. A really cool way to do your own healing is to take a photo of yourself, like a full body one, and then you can read and scan the photo of your energy. So you can kind of tell if a chakra is blocked for you, or maybe you can tell if something is misaligned. That's how I've been doing my own healings recently, is just taking a photo and reading myself. Sometimes when I'm on social media, I'm always scrolling and I can feel people's through their stomach or the different chakras, all these blocks. But it's really nice to do it on yourself too, or have the ability to do it. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card for myself.
So I heard you drew a card for me.
I did. Ooh, I have a kangaroo for me. Go ahead, Zane.
Well, this is what Jaybird wants you to repeat, whatever it is that you said about.
Oh, because you're orangutan. Back. Sure.
Yeah.
Orangutan, working to life joyously, not living to work.
Working to live joyously?
Oh, sorry. Haha, my bad. I read that wrong. Working to live joyously, not living to work.
Right. Yes. Love it.
Yes. Anyways, I have a kangaroo for me. As events take on their own momentum, you take a true leap forward. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I think I got everybody that wanted one. Is there anyone
I
else that wants?
restarted my tablet, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to be back, and it feels
Oh,
better, doesn't it? Like
feels
I
better,
seem like
yeah.
yeah, maybe I'm actually
Mhm.
back. Okay, so again, we'd love to know more of what you guys have experienced with your animals or with animals in general from a spiritual sense. Because it's something that I haven't spent a lot of my time and effort, getting into and really knowing and understanding and experiencing. So I really want to hear other people's stories and other people's experiences, because I want to add it to my own knowledge. At the very least, I'm going to be selfish and ask for that, but I think it benefits everyone.
Sorry, for what again? Can you repeat that?
Sure, for knowing, for everybody to report and leave a comment about how animals and spirituality
Mm,
have intersected for them. Maybe it's their pets or any other circumstance. Because the animal psychics out there definitely have something going on, and there's something behind it for sure. So I
yeah,
just want to know more.
yeah.
Okay, here's Aunt Anjali. She likes to hike, no, hike and connect with deer. I would be in meditative state and would be connected with them. Yeah, that's really cool. Definitely. I've had a lot of deer situations like that as well, where they'll just appear. And I think I tell a story a lot about how I decided to listen. I decided to listen with my eyes instead of just exist and think about the future or whatever, to actually go outside and look around and say, okay, I'm going to listen with my eyes right now. What am I seeing that I would not normally see?
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, of course, I see deer or something beautiful or something amazing.
yeah. I
Jasper. I'm excited about Jasper's story. We're gonna hear it in a second. Go ahead.
When I paint energy portraits, a lot of animals come through too for different people. And when I painted my own, like I think me and my friend we found like maybe 50 or 60 at different animals in the different textures that I made. And it was almost like one from every continent. And it's like an expression of like, wow, I'm really connected to all of these animals. And it's like a form of oneness that like nature empowers me, or these animals here are here to teach me this lesson of like, every single one of them is important, from the penguin that's in Antarctica to the owl that's in the woods, and or the sharks or the whales and to the dolphins. It's like everyone has its own unique expression to further elevate my own self-expression as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so Mary said 3 days ago, 3 days in a row. I'm sorry, she saw eagles, and so I think it was all about higher perspective and freedom. Yeah, I like that a lot. And yeah, and that's what's kind of cool about it, right? Like you think about the animal and you go, okay, what does this animal bring to the world, or how does it see the world? And to see the world from the animal's perspective is a great way to go, and that's exactly what Mary did. See what Jillian had: a bear come out of the very thick woods where no animal should have passed. It got up on two legs in the river behind me, and when I went to investigate, there was a native burial ground. Wow, that's really amazing. That's awesome, Jillian. Hmm. No animal should have passed, so it just like came crashing out of the woods, like no thick woods can hold me back from getting to you, Jillian. I am your bear that I'm supposed to meet with right now. That's part of our soul contract. I love it. Oh, did you comment up there and I didn't see it, Jaybird? Let me see here. Where did you see a comment about
No,
Jaybird's experiences?
no, I didn't.
Darn. Well, hopefully she'll tell us more
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, bear medicine. Exactly, Jillian.
Oh, sorry to hear, Krista.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I'd love
no,
to
your
know more
dog is in
about
your heart.
Yeah, I'd love to know more about Cooper, Krista. So please tell us more about him. And how old was he? What kind of dog was he for you? What kind of companion was he for you? And feel free to express your love for him, even to us as a. And what's beautiful about a group like this is that you can express it really purely authentically. You don't have to say, okay, well, I had a spiritual connection with my dog Cooper, and maybe other people wouldn't understand that, but we definitely would, and so we'd love to hear more about that. So here's Jasper. Since my childhood dog died, Lucky, I have seen her in my dreams very often. Oh yes, in the dreams. She died in 2006. It's nice to still see her. My dreams are very vivid and memorable. That's fantastic, Jasper. Yeah, I have that too, because now I've had 3 whippets, 3 dogs, and 2 of them definitely visit me in my dreams. The 2 that have passed, I know exactly what you're talking about. And they've even visited other people, right? My dogs have visited Jaybird's dreams and have talked to her about how much they loved me or whatever. So it's really interesting because they can communicate to us in so many different ways, and to be open to whatever way that might be is your job. It's all you have to do is just be open to it.
Yeah. I'll go grab my other thing. Hold on.
Okay, grab your other thing. Maybe Aya. Also, when my chocolate lab passed away in 2020, I still see his signs, such as a chocolate lab in front of my house, or seeing a chocolate lab at the spot on the beach where we would walk. Yeah, absolutely. That's you, Jasper, being open to all the different ways that can come through. So I appreciate that you are open to that and what it can possibly bring to your life. There is no such thing as time. Time is an experience that we get to have here as humans. But there is only the infinite now outside of this 3D reality. So every pet that you've ever had, including pets that you haven't even had yet, are already there, and they're watching over you, and they're available to you to interact with whenever you might want to, or whenever they might want to.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to show you, this is my cat's energy portrait. And I think Jaybird might resonate with it because she's seen Aya many, many times. But she's very much in the Andromedan galaxy. So
beautiful. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like you can really tell like her wildness and her like just her spirit within it.
I'm gonna make myself go away for a second just so you can see that on full screen. I'm gonna remove.
So this is my beautiful, beautiful cat. And it's like really neat to like see them both together. And when she passes by it, that she's just here. And then you can also turn it to get different activations and different feelings from it. So that's like how the abstract is. And mainly, I've only done her pet, but I base it off of a photo. So if you want me to paint your pet's portrait, even if the pet has passed away, I can still channel in their higher self into the painting. So that's that. That's really neat.
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. And I think that Mary is absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination. Let's go all the way back to our soul contracts. You already picked each other long before you were both born here on this time-ridden place. I never said it like that. Oh, this time-ridden reality. What's wrong with this place? I want my infinite now. I don't want my future and past. Heck with all that. No, when you come here, you want that time experience, and so yeah, it feels like they pick you, but they're more tied into that soul contract. They're more tied in to their higher selves. There's not all this bizarre filter stuff in the way like our brains that are like, well, do we really want this, and are we sure about that, and I think I know better than my soul, whatever. now they're more tied in. They're going to come right to us and go, hey, we did the contract. Let's do this. So
yeah, my
that's
cat,
cool.
I was actually very anti-cats growing up. I think because my mom never liked cats, so we were always just like dog people, even though we never had a dog. But I had like tons of stuffed animal dogs, and it was just like my thing. But then 3 years ago, I was like, oh, like there's so like when I moved up to the North Shore, which is another part of the island, everybody had cats, like so many cats around me, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should get on this cat ordeal like everyone is doing. And so I started asking around if anyone knew of any like rescue kittens or just anywhere that I can get one. And my one friend saw like this little Facebook post of like free kittens, and I had a good energy from them. So I went over there and saw like four of them or three of them. And then my cat, she was like in a cabinet. Like the little boy was looking for Aya, and she was in a cabinet. And then when the boy took her out, like she started licking my feet. And I'm like, okay, I'll take this one, because it seemed like she was waiting for me she was like hiding, but then she came out and be like, hey, I'm over here. So it was always just like a very sweet bond between us. And I definitely agree that, that your pet chooses you, and it was just the timing of everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I grew up in a similar situation. My mom didn't like cats because they scared her, and the reason that they scared her is because she's really jumpy. She's easily startled, and cats walk around almost silently in some cases. And so, in her experience being around cats, they just scared the crap out of her. So that doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about the cat scaring me, but I had that influence, right? And so that does play a role for sure. So Jaybird tells her story about how she had to leave her precious cat behind. He's in good hands, but she struggles with depression and guilt about abandoning him. But at least when this becomes unbearable, he will come to visit her in her dreams. And she's always over the moon to see him because she knows the connection that they have through their love for each other. So, and it's still there, right? It hasn't dwindled. It hasn't gone away because she hasn't been around him for 6 months. It's still there. So and she is always filled with bliss the next day. It's beautiful. And then she says, before I decided to go on the road with Mr. Birdshirt, that's me today, when I meditated, my cats would surround me in a pyramid of protection. I called it the cat trifecta. This was the first comment I made that we missed earlier.
That's cute.
Cool. And then Jillian says, a shaman that I work with told me to pay attention to white owl medicine. He said that is my current primary helper. What do you all think about that? Let's see. Let me see if I get.
I've never heard of white owl medicine, so.
Yeah, so that would be a snowy owl. So snowy owls are very much in Canada, northern United States, not so much in the southern U.S. And they are beautiful and rare. When you do see them, it's really special. It's very magical. I have had the fortune of being able to see one in broad daylight, to my grand surprise. I think I was in like northern Minnesota at the time. Very, very beautiful. So
that's like the Harry Potter bird.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know my Harry Potter that well, but
I think it was a white bird, so
a white
if I
owl.
recall. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
white owl medicine would be like looking at white owls or just tuning into their frequency? I'm not.
Yeah, be tuning into their frequency. Now, I don't know a lot about their particular, like I know they're rare and all that, Hedwig.
That's the name of the owl.
Yeah. They're rare and that sort of thing, but I don't know a lot about like them in particular versus other owls, but still, the sight, the ability to see very well, the ability, they're often considered very intelligent, and they're not just looking ahead, right? Because they can turn their heads almost 360 degrees. So they're seeing everything always. So in that way, we could say, okay, we are a little bit more tied into the infinite now when we're talking about owl medicine. So I love that, Jillian. Thanks for sharing that.
So when you saw that white owl,
yeah,
when you saw that white owl, like what was going on in your life? Because I guess that's a very rare moment. Like, was that during your spiritual like path, or was that beforehand?
No, that was beforehand. So I
Mm.
couldn't tell you now what it was, and I didn't look at it and say, oh, okay, let's associate this with something that's going on in life. So I can't answer your question, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Alexandria, being able to see things from a higher, pure state of being from a position of unconditional love. Bingo. There we go. So what is it that our pets bring us? They bring us a type of unconditional love that we're not accustomed to, because humans, again, have that filtered brain that are saying, oh, I'm selfish. Oh, I've got these desires and I'm going to do this. And even if it hurts you, I'm sorry, too bad, because I've got, right? So we understand, whereas it is when it comes to an animal, especially a pet like a cat or a dog, that they're going to give us that unconditional love much more freely, and we don't have to worry about them betraying us or any of those things, because that's not really within their nature. And that's why it's very easy to love an animal unconditionally, because you can feel safe. So what is the main obstacle to feeling in a bliss state, to feeling happy, to feeling to transcending negative experiences and negative emotions, is if you can get to a place where you can sort of feel safe. It's not very easy to do, because we humans are built with the programming to tell us when we're not safe, so that we become it, so that we take action to try to get safe. But that's one of the things that an animal provides, is that feeling of safety with that relationship. And many people will say, and you see bumper stickers and things like that, I love my animals more than I love my peoples. That's why, because they're exposed directly to that type of unconditional love, and they know that they are safe in that unconditional love.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think Aya has definitely taught me a lot about unconditional love. So it's definitely, it's like very remarkable what animals can do for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for many too, if you think about it, that another thing that we have programmed in us is this desire to have children, obviously, because that furthers the species. And so for many of us, we find a pet and we go, hey, you know what? I don't necessarily need a human child. I can have a fur baby, and they will always stay a fur baby, and I know I will always have that unconditional love. The biggest unfortunate part about it is that they have a shorter lifespan than us, so we will generally outlive them, which is a very painful experience. But that's bringing something else to us as well. Yeah, our children should outlive us, actual human children. So to give that much love to an animal and then have that animal pass is a very difficult grieving process. But as we already know, the grieving process is a healing process, and it gives us more that we can learn from, more that we can grow from, and understand that things are transitory, that there's always change that's going on from internally and externally, and to accept that these dear animals, these unconditionally loving animals, move on and transition to a different soul experience, and to be okay with it, and to really look back on that time that we had with them with pure love and pure unconditional love, is a wonderful reward and something to definitely strive for. Yeah. So yes, this is very personal trauma that Jaybird has. She definitely has. This is both a personal and a spiritual trauma, because in the case of losing an animal that's so dear and close to you, it can be very painful, but especially when you have a spiritual connection. So the thing that you can rely on is that you will always, forever, have that spiritual connection with that animal, and it starts immediately and it never ends. That is one of the places to go when you are feeling upsetty spaghetti.
Jasper has a good one.
Okay. So many questions. Jasper, thank you for both the live chatting. Of course, we do this every Thursday at this time, almost. Do you think hearing voices and schizophrenia are related? Okay, so this takes us off a little bit off the topic, but it can be, right? So any of us can hear voices, whether we have the brain chemistry that causes schizophrenia. But what we find is that those people who have that brain chemistry are more likely to have that sort of communication with spirits or whatever. So it's it doesn't mean that you're schizophrenic if you hear a voice, but you don't have to be, because you don't have to be schizophrenic to hear a voice, and just because you hear a voice does not mean that you're schizophrenic. So what is schizophrenia? It's an overabundance of dopamine, among other things, as a part of brain chemistry. And this is an unusual but not that unusual experience, because it is somewhere in the 1 or 2 percentile of the population experiences schizophrenia. So every 100 people you know, there's at least 1 or 2 of them that have schizophrenia, which is pretty crazy to think about. But it is evolved in our species because that connection to the spirit world has benefits. And those benefits include having knowledge that is beyond our senses and beyond the basics of our brains. So if we look at the history of civilizations, and especially primitive, very primitive, like tribal communities that only have 20 to 100 members in their tribe, there needed to be somebody who had schizophrenia, because they were essentially the witch doctors or the connection to the spirit world, and they were guides in many cases. And so they weren't looked at as an individual with a disease. They were looked at as an individual with a special power, and they were held high in the importance in their tribe, which is why they weren't evolved out of the species, assuming you subscribe to evolution as the reason how we are now. So there's something beautiful about that schizophrenic experience. And in our society, of course, we look at it completely differently. We look at it as a disease rather than as a superpower. And anytime we look at something as a disease, then we want to try to get rid of it. And getting rid of something like this incredible power to be able to speak to beings from other dimensions and so forth, that's only going to just cause all kinds of problems. We don't get the benefit from them, and then we make them think that they're all screwed up and they have to do all this work to just try to get healed or cured. And so we don't encourage those people, and we don't give them the unconditional love that they need so badly in order to get a handle on the situation and start to tune in to the higher vibrational beings. If you think about it, if you are told to have a disease and that you're all messed up, then you're usually going to be very unhappy about this, very worried about this, and so on. And so now what are you going to do is you're going to bring in voices that are of a lower frequency. So I definitely have worked with schizophrenic patients in the past as part of my program, and I help them realize that what they're tapping into is something beautiful, and it should be embraced rather than something that should be run from. And so the program works very well to help people in that situation.
Yeah. Well, it's also just like talking to that voice too, of asking why is it here too. It's almost like when you told me to ask my anxiety, like, why are you here? And when I do that, it gives me, the answer that I'm looking for. So it's almost like those voices are guiding you if you listen to them, not necessarily listen to them, but question to why they are here. Like sometimes it could really be negative voices, that negative actions that they're telling you to take, but then you have that own willpower to question it in a way and to find the deeper meaning behind this action that it's telling you to take. Maybe there is some sort of trauma that you're still working through, or maybe there's something else that you've been not doing that is causing all of this to happen.
Right.
So
Yeah, I like that approach, and it can often work, but it also can cause problems for some people because they ask why are they there, and if the voice isn't forthcoming, or it's a lying voice, then the information you may receive is incorrect, and
So
then
incorrect.
and then you can go down this path of blaming yourself and overthinking and so on and so forth. So talking to the actual entity generally isn't a great thing if it's a very directly negative entity. If you're talking to your guides and they're these beautiful beings, yes, you want to feel free to ask as many questions as you want. But for very specific cases, I say you probably don't even want to acknowledge them if you can, and move on with your life, and replace that concern with excitement or gratitude or unconditional love as a better approach. But otherwise, yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying. So here's another Jaybird story. She has many gifts that present themselves through lucid dreaming. This was the vision I received. I woke into the van and looked out the window. By the way, we're van lifers, so we travel all around the country. It was as if we were sitting stationary and surrounded by black, empty space. Ooh, the van in black, empty space. It felt like a vast and ever-expanding void. Bismarck, which is one of my whippets, came running full tilt out of the darkness. He ran through the window and into me. I shot up awake and started to cry. However, the sobbing wasn't from sorrow, it was from love. That's beautiful. And then it's kind of, I had it pressed into me, and then it cuts off, unfortunately. So maybe Jaybird can finish that sentence because it didn't carry all the way through. Yeah, well, thank you, Alexandria. It's wonderful to have you. Whew. Okay. I was just talking a mile a minute there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you got to talk early. It worked out. It always works out. So we still want to do our game show, right? I want to. So
yeah,
want to
it sounds really fun.
I know. I'm sorry I just didn't get to it. I want to do a little bit of promotion. I actually want to create a little logo for it and have some fun. But the game show is Who Wants to Be an Ascended Master, and not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And so Monica's already sent me some questions, and we still want to do it. Anjali really wants to be a contestant. So we'll have to consider her as a possible contestant. You know, I don't know if we should really have Anjali on there, but anyway, I really want to come up with a format for how we can do this and really have some fun with it. Oh, okay.
Jillian. Yeah.
Jillian wants to be a contestant as well. Okay, good. See, that's what we need. Jaybird saying, "No, don't make fun of poor Anjali. Put her on there."
Well, I feel like we should have like 4 to 5 contestants, and then have like a finals round at the end to like whoever got the most questions, and then you get passed into the finals, and then it's like 2 people up against each other type of thing.
Wow, this is getting very good. Okay, so
I feel like that's how game shows go. Like you have so many episodes, and then you have the final, like you have the final thing. Maybe, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fun. Hello, Alex Lone Wolf. It's great to have you back. Oh, we only have 5 minutes left. Only 5 minutes left. That's crazy. It feels intense. Yeah, right. Anjali's like, maybe I don't want to do this after all. This sounds a lot more complicated than I thought.
It's only fun. It's only fun. Plus, you get to win a free print of one of my arts.
Okay,
arts.
right. Yes. That's Anjali. That's where the kind light being runs and hides from the competition. Jaybird's calling you out. Wow. All of a sudden, it got very violent in here. Anjali is kicking me. Gosh, what the heck? Virtually. Okay.
Well, you want to read Jasper's and finish it off with Jasper's?
Sure. Okay, Jasper. What do you think about, I forget what they're called, the Native American spirits, the negative ones that can change shapes? Okay, great question, Jasper. I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I don't give negative entities my energy. And by not giving them my energy, I also don't care what kind they are. I don't care if it's a demon. I don't care if it's a gargoyle or it's a reptilian or whatever the heck it might be. Don't care, because what's actually happening, what actually matters is you, not the type of entity, not how long it's been there, not how powerful it is, blah, 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 blah. You have the power over your own energy field. And that's what I do, is I help people get to that point, get to that state where they're not afraid of the entity anymore. They're stepping into their power. They're raising their frequency. They're corralling their mind and so many other things to make it so they are no longer a vibrational match for negative entities, whatever kind there are. And if you think that the entity is a demon or some horrific, horrible thing, then you're going to be more afraid of it than if you think that it's a harmless butterfly. So it's very, very important that I actually don't give the entities my energy, nor should you give them yours.
That's good.
Oh, Jaybird. So Anjali, Jaybird is going to actually kick me in real life. So thank you so much for bringing that up so that I can be wounded and injured by my love.
So, I mean, I guess that's like another topic, but how do you view, how does that resonate with you when she makes a comment like that, even though she's joking? Does that
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's all
totally
playful?
great.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not worried about it at all. I think it's great. Great question. It's
Okay.
very friendly, joshing and joyfulness, yes, and
Okay.
brutal injuries, yes.
What did she call you, Mr. Birdmaster or something like that?
Well,
Or
no,
bird?
because of the bird shirt. She called me Mr. Bird
Mm.
Shirt right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I have a name for her, but she doesn't have a name for me. So, all right. So, Jillian, we are in. Where are we? We are in Pembroke Pines, Florida, which is a suburb of Miami. But we will be heading very rapidly by this weekend. We will be going to Gulf Shores, Alabama, because my parents are there vacationing. So we have an opportunity. It's only like a 10-hour drive from here that we can swing by and see them for about a week.
Very cool.
So if anybody's in Gulf
you'll be there for
Shores,
a week
Alabama,
in Alabama?
yeah, probably. Don't know where we go from there. Kind of depends on the weather. I think it's going to be a little bit
Hawaii.
cold as it is. Yeah,
You gonna come to Hawaii?
We'll just drive. I mean, we could just drive right into the Gulf and just drive all the way through the Panama Canal and then drive right on out to you in Hawaii.
Well, you could just take one of those like long like construction like ferries that goes through the Pacific.
Right, the shipping containers. We just put ourselves in a shipping container with the van and all, and just take it all the way over. If you have enough money, I'm sure you could do something like that. I don't know how I would do it. Oh, well, Jaybird is going to swim to you, so that'll be quite the journey and adventure. That'll be great. We'll have to film that somehow.
Mm-hmm. That will make it to Cosmic TV.
Yes, it will. Absolutely, it'll make it to Cosmic TV. Today was a fun session. Love the tarot reading. Thank you, Monica, for your goofiness. Zane. Oh, maybe it was. Thank you for your goofiness. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Zane,
you're
way
so
more
goofy, Monica. Right. Bye, Jaybird. See you later. Yeah, that was a fun day. Absolutely. Okay, now let's see. What song should we play as we leave? I think it's very important.
Thank you everyone for joining with us for our 50th podcast. We're also on Spotify if you want to replay any of our episodes. It's very melodic. It's a nice tone, and you definitely froze too. So it's a great way to end the podcast with Zane frozen.
Figured out what. Yeah, it's the music. The music causes it to freeze.
Interesting.
Are you hearing the music right now?
No, it's gone. But I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, good. All right, everyone. All right, Monica. Bye. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.
Aloha.